Boys, today I'm going to show you how to play Urgot ADC. If you don't know me, I'm Urpog. I hit Masters and all roles at Urgot for the funnies. I apologize if I sound a little bit scuffed right now. I'm very sick, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, first we're going to talk about is rune pages. So the main rune page you use for Urgot ADC is this page. You do PTA, Triumph, Legends of Destiny, Last Stand, Second Wind, and Overgrowth. The second page is change over to Fleet. The third page is PTA with Revitalize, or Fleet and Revitalize. This is when you have an Enchanter. Very good with Yuumi, Nami. And the fourth page, which I don't recommend ever, is this. This is when you're against Yuumi and stuff you need to run down, like Koglulu. You can run this with PTA, of course, like all these runes are like interchangeable, like this works, the whole shebang works, right? But this is mostly just to like catch people you would otherwise be unable to kill. The reason is specifically is good against Yuumi because you can Q Yuumi at pretty much any time, run them down, and they'll have to use their movement speed boost off the Yuumi heal to get away from you. But generally speaking, this rune page you can run every lobby. So focus on this rune page, but keep in mind situational rune pages are available. So, why would you want to play Urgot ADC? I will be the first person to admit, this pick is ass. Do not do this. I only did this because it was goofy. The core strength of this pick is the fact you can abandon this role. So if you think about Urgot as a functional champion, he's the top laner, right? And what can you do with top laners? You can abandon them and have no problems. The strategy with Urgot ADC is mostly weak side. You want to start D-Shield, you can start D-Blade into some matchups. If you're in a comfortable matchup, you can do D-Blade instead. But generally speaking, D-Shield is the reason why this works, right? So, D-Shield, first reset, Cole. Cole is also the reason why this works on top of Second Wind. The core combination you want to be using here is D-Shield, Cole, and Second Wind. The reason that is, you pretty much become unkillable and undiveable. To briefly touch on what items you should be building, I will make a small list here. I'll flash them on screen, all the available build paths available for Urgot right now. But keep in mind, this is patch specific. These will change with time, but generally speaking, Urgot builds are very true to themselves and not really do Urgot's builds change. It's more so like better builds come along that end up replacing the meta builds. So your builds are always viable and valid, but they can become outdated, but still viable, right? So the main build path is Black Cleaver into Ravenous, then Jack Show, then you go Eva Sterax, which is the best item for defense, IMO into Gargoyle. It's a very good build path. If you want to do something a little bit more aggressive, you can rush into Cleaver. You can do Prowler's Claw afterwards. You go Grudge. After Grudge, you go Sterax. And after Sterax, you go Guardian Angel. So, the ideal situation, you're paired with Yuumi, Nami, Blitzcrank. I'll flash the matchups later and synergies, but you have a good pick, right? You want something that scales harder than your pick provides. Urgot spikes at level 3, 6, 9, 13, and then slightly falls off compared to other people's scalings. And ideally speaking, you're looking to win lobbies by the time level 16s have come around, because Urgot's passive's capped at 2.5 seconds at level 13, and Urgot's core strength is around his passive. A lot of people think on hit, haha, Urgot funny, but no, it's literally all in his passive. So, early game, what you're looking to do, pretty simple. Let's say you're against Jim Bob and Jim Bob's friend. You're your support, right? Level 1, you can E-flash them, but I would recommend against it, unless you 100% know. Like, if, let's say, target dummy 1 here, Jim Bob 1, is Yuumi. If you can land the E-flash on Yuumi, your support drops the Ignite, or you drop the Ignite, because you told your support to take it because also heal, Yuumi will die. But if you're against, like, any, like, Sane laners, like, not the Parasite lane, I would wait for level 2. So, the general strat for this is you want this wave to push in and crash around your tower. Urgot can't contest the level 1s because short range, obviously, so like a Draven Nami will always roll you. Lucian Nami has always early prior on you. So you want your wave to be dying first, right? So you let your wave die, and then you play around this area of your tower. You should let your support know going into the lobby that you plan on that and then push the wave. And the idea is, as soon as they land an auto attack on you on the tower, as they will, like Draven players want to hit you with the auto attack, 150 damage, catch the axe, you can just E-flash them onto the tower. Draven walks over an auto attack, E-flash, now it's tower range, you know? And then what you do from this is you crash the wave because the ADC is now dead, and you want to make the support absorb all the resources. Because obviously, support getting resources is never like going to be beneficial for the enemy team. Unless it's like Senna or some shit, but it's always better than the support gets like solo resources and an ADC getting a solo resource. You can do it on the support if killing the ADC is like not an available option. Like they're either good with their flash reaction, they have a dash, and they're like, you know, they have good reflexes. But then here's when you run to reset. Obviously, I've had farmed a little bit more. I'll be level 3 right now. This is where you buy coal. And this is also where you should tell your support to roam. Because if it all went well, you're both level 3, supports can buy boots, tier 1 boots, and leave the lane. So ideally speaking, you do just pick up coal here. You go to coal, walk back to lane, you have D-shield coal, second win, and now you're unkillable. Tell your support to your room. They can't kill you because you're Urgot with second win D-shield coal. They can dive you with jungle, but that's pretty much about it. So send them on their way, you do your thing. Try your best to try and keep the wave pushing towards you. And since they have 2 people in the laning phase versus your 1 solo EXP, you will end up getting more EXP generated while winning on the map. You will get poked on the tower, that's fine. That's why you have the D-shield second win coal. As long as you aren't against something too aggressive, like let's say you're against Nami, Draven, Elise, that sucks because you're gonna get dove on a repeat. But if you're against something like Ashe, Seraphine with a Echo, random jungler, you should be able to survive that lane pretty well. On the flip side, if you do start winning laning phase and you do have an advantageous matchup, so let's say you're Urgot Blitzcrank versus a Ashe who you've managed to kill while taking their flash, you want to play the lane out rather than setting your support to roam and just exploit that the enemy support or ADC has no flash. So even if you don't have E-flash, what you do, let's imply these minions are allies, right? So this is Ashe ADC, random support. This is your Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank just hooks this, the Ashe. So Ashe is here. This is Blitzcrank. Qs, wait for the E. Don't E immediately. Wait for Blitzcrank to get the Z off. It will launch them in the air with his power fist, and then you'll grab them as they're coming down to maximize the CC. So as soon as they're landing, E forwards, on top of his combo, don't slam it, and then you'll punish the ADC, crash the wave, and it'll be absolutely frugal. This is the best way to punish them if you can't roam. So let's say your mid laner is Kassadin versus like Yasuo or Yone. It's not going to be a fun matchup for him. I don't think even if Blitzcrank would go mid, it would go good unless the jungler also went. So in the occasion you actually have a good lane, very rare, you can play the lane. Just keep in mind, you're more support reliant than you are like yourself doing anything in this lane at that point. Urgot, generally speaking, is a reactive champion. He's an aggressive champion. Urgot wants to get into fights that have already started. Urgot wants to react to enemy abilities. Urgot wants to, just generally speaking, do something after they've already done something. Let's say Lucian dashes forward, grab, dead. Let's say I do something like this. Like let's say I miss E-flash, I'm now dead. So my mistake has caused me pretty much the lane and the game, because there's no real recovery options here apart from support roaming weak side. But weak siding from behind after they got an advantage is really, really hard to do. This pick implies a lot of perfection played from your side and imperfections with the enemy team. Like if you play good and they play good, you're neutral losing. If you play great and they play bad, you're winning hard, which is the sad state of Urgot right now. You have to put in like twice the effort to get like half the amount of champions do, but it is what it is. You're playing Urgot ADC, you're nerfing yourself because you're too powerful, obviously. So now we're going to talk about matchups real quick. I'll flash them on screen right now. Generally speaking, the bad matchups are the ones that have high range and controlling abilities, right? Heimerdinger is like absolutely unplayable. I have not played against Heimerdinger in 2 years, and I will not to. I would not play against Heimerdinger for the next 2 years because that shit is unplayable. The reason Heimerdinger is bad is because it can be paired with like anything already controlling, right? Heimerdinger, Ashe, you die, you can't walk away. Ashe auto, Heimerdinger bomb, you die. Urgot thrives into champions that have like either similar low range or want to hard engage. It's like Lucian Nami isn't that oppressive against him because he likes to fight Lucian. Lucian is short range and has a small dash. If you E-flash Lucian, him dash flashing away from your E-flash won't create like enough of a distance to like escape your damage. So with your starter who likes to jump in, hook champions because they're doing the job for you, you can buffer hooks and stuff like that. And now I'll flash the synergies. Urgot works very well with champions that enable one soul carry. So Yuumi is very good because you just run Revitalize, Second Wind, Barrier, D-Shields, and you just like run over the enemy lobby. If you get ahead early on that lane, unstoppable. The enemy jungle needs to like intervene. So be mindful when you have the Parasite, the jungler will be intervening. Nami is pretty good because she empowers you with E flash, Nami E, boom boom boom. ADC no longer exists, yes? And then she's really good at roaming. Janna is good because she roams very well, but Janna doesn't do anything for the laning phase. So E flash doesn't become an option when you have Janna because Janna does the damage. So the ideal support is one that does damage in lane and roams. If they can't roam and they're bad at laning, useless, dodge. So the reason this rune page is the best, press the attack, you can apply it in 1 second with WQ or QW. Q will target your W, press W, BTA, short trade, E backwards or forwards, depending if you're winning or losing. And you'll take a pretty beneficial trade. Triumph is the best sub rune in the game. I think that's up for debate, but personally, that's my opinion. Legend Tenacity, very good with Urgot. Tenacity, you can swap out for Legend Bloodline, because Urgot E obviously buffs abilities. Let's say Alistar Q, you go up in the air, just press E, grab Alistar, Tenacity's wasted. It's a knock up too. So if you see Nami, Alistar, Yasuo's, Tenacity doesn't affect knockups, so don't run Tenacity against knockup teams. You can run the Lifesteal rune. And a last stand. Urgot is one of the best champions on 20% HP or 10% HP. I always encourage playing Urgot like a dumbass because it will trick your enemy into like inting. You'll always see me live around like 10 HP, 20 HP, and I'm like standing in the tower. I'm baiting them to try to do something because Urgot has like such momentum immediately. So let's say an Echo E2, 20% HP Urgot. As soon as he E2s, he dies. I do the full combo, you know, and then you get a free kill. Your sub runes, Second Wind. Second Wind is also one of the reasons this lane can function. Second Wind is premium on Urgot purely because it's so hard to kill you. Second Wind doesn't get as much value against something like Draven, but if you're against something like Ashe, which is continuous DPS rather than like short burst DPS, it's very, very good. Your sub rune for the other resolve slot can be either Overgrowth, Revitalize, or Unflinching, depending what the lobby's calling for. Unflinching is obviously more Tenacity, so they have like Seraphine, Ashe, Tenacity is great value, slow resist, blah, blah, blah. Revitalize is if you have a Yuumi, Enchanter, anything that enables healing. It would be good with Ravenous Hydra because it empowers all healing, and Overgrowth is just the common assist my scaling rune. One of Urgot's cool strengths is being able to hold down one place for a very long time. Urgot has a lot of losing matchups, but just because it's a losing matchup doesn't mean you can't like outskill them and just like bad matchup doesn't mean you've lost. Bad matchup just means you need to be a better player. That's what that means. I think a lot of Urgot mains think Urgot needs buffs in low elo, which is a little bit insane to me because I think Urgot is one of the best low elo champions. Like Urgot ADC in high elo is absolutely unplayable, but Urgot ADC in low elo, like you compare it with Blitzcrank, Blitzcrank Q, Urgot E, they die, rinse and repeat, 900 gold per second. So yeah, if you have a Bud, get them on Zillion, get them on Yuumi, get them on Blitzcrank, bing bang boom, hook them, bomb them. All this lane matters is about hitting E once and then sending your support to room. So let's say the enemy lane is like frozen around here. Like the biggest weakness of this is good players, right? That is just Urgot's weakness in general is just good players. So let's say the enemy has frozen the wave around here. You're 1v2, you can't walk up to the lane. Oh no, mamma mia, I'm screwed. Urgot is also a very good roamer in his own right. So right now, I'm level 8 Urgot, I only have a Cole, but I can probably one-shot a champion here, implying I had Ignite. And I usually ask my supports to run Ignite. So I would walk into the jungle, deep ward. I always buy control boards, so that I ward this bush, this bush, this bush. I'll throw up my warding screen, my warding images on screen now, so you have a general idea of like where I'm looking to ward. But obviously only for the bot side of the map, because I'm not gonna run up top lane just to drop control ward. But Urgot's a pretty premium warder, because let's say Jim Bob ally 1 and 2. Ooh, 20 HP ally, 20 HP enemy. Ooh, I roamed. Urgot kill, you know. It's pretty free to roam with Urgots. Urgot is one of the best 2v2 champions in the game. Even Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is very good to roam around the map with. Fiddle Urgot, the reason it's so good is that Fiddlesticks Q guarantees Urgot E 99% of the time. If Fiddle R's over the wall, it's like a winning team fight already. So Fiddle 5-mans, Urgot R, fear the rest of the four of them. I'll make a matchup list. It'll be on my Twitter. I'll leave that in the description below. But generally speaking, that is all I have to offer about Urgot right now for ADC. If you want to see some like more goofiness, see how Urgot ADC works in Masters, I'm live on Twitch every single day. I'll leave that in the comments, the description. Also, I hope it helps. If it didn't help, let me know why it didn't help. And it was Evans. Thank you for watching.
Damn, is that the Urpog merch? Didn't know you were down like that.